Good morning. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the State Court of Clayton County, Clayton County, Georgia, courtroom 304. This is the jail and arraignment calendar. I'm going to call the arraignment calendar first, and then we'll move to the jail calendar. This is the 10 a.m. calendar. First case on the calendar is Bria M. Carter. Bria M. Carter. Ms. Carter does not have an attorney present listed on the calendar. Is she present? Bria Carter. Ladies and gentlemen, I see iPhone listed on the calendar. It's almost impossible to assist you if your first and last name is not on the screen because we have our calendars by first and last name. We're conducting business. So please make sure that you have your first and last name, not a nickname, not some other iteration, especially not iPhone, because everybody has one. So please make sure you go to the rename function for your first and last name on the screen for me. All right. All right. Today is July 14th, 2026. And once again, Bria M. Carter.
There was a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
All right. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Next is Corliss D. Collins. Mr. Holton Dennis. Mr. Lynch, I'm not hearing anything.
I'm here.
Who's that?
Corliss Collins.
All right. So, Miss Collins, I need you to change. Do you know how to change your name?
I'm trying and is. I do not see where to do it at.
Okay. All right.
Judge, can you hear me now?
I hear you just fine now.
Okay. Judge, when do a conference with Ms. Collins?
Miss Adams, yes, ma'am.
I was going to say the statement's going to move to no pros, the Collins case.
All right, Ms. Collins, your case is being no pros. No pros means that they are not going to pursue prosecution of this case, so it's akin to a dismissal. Please, ma'am, be safe on the roads and make sure that your documents are in good working order and you are free to go at this time.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. All right, Jonathan Andreas Cook.
Judge, he's present in the courtroom. I'm having him approach the podium.
All right. Mr. Cook, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so you're before the court for driving on a suspended or revoked license, count 1, no license, count 2, suspended registration, count 3, no tag or expired or invalid tag, count 4. Sir, did you wish to have an attorney represent you? Did you wish to represent yourself? How did you wish to handle your case?
I just wanted to say last week I went to the municipal court and they put me on probation for all those charges.
Okay, that might be another case. This is a 2023 case. So did you wish to have an attorney speak with you?
It's actually going to move to no proceedings charge, this case.
All right, so Ms. Adams, the state has chosen to no pros the case, sir. So they're going to dismiss it, but just please make sure that you are not driving without your documents being in good order, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Be safe.
You too. Thank you.
Yvonne Sheree Eccles. Ms. Eccles is present on video.
Judge, I just spoke with Ms. Eccles. I believe we're going to get that resolved. I just need to receive a document from her that I'm going to provide to the state, which is her valid license. And then I believe we'll have some type of a plea ready to go shortly after that point.
Okay. Juanita Letitia Fluellen. Juanita Fluellen. I don't see them on the video and they're not responding from court. Bench warrant. All right, bench warrant will be granted. Joseph Bernard Harden. Joseph Bernard Harden. Last call for Joseph Bernard Harden.
They request a bench warrant.
Bench warrant will be granted. Taisha Shatik Jones. Taisha Shatik Jones.
She's present, Judge.
All right. Ms. Jones, you're before the court for reckless conduct, and you also have a pending SSD, meaning that you have a suspended sentence where you were given extra time to pay on a previous case, and that's still pending. It has not been paid, so I just wanted to remind you of that. But for your reckless conduct case, did you wish to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or have an attorney appointed to you?
I can have one appointed to me.
Okay, so Mr. Lynch is in the courtroom. Either Mr. Lynch or Mr. Bug will speak to you about your case. And once they're able to give us some information about the case, then we'll determine whether it's going to move forward today or we'll have to give you additional information, okay?
Okay.
All right, you can have a seat. Next case is Deanna Orange. Deanna Orange. Deanna Orange. Last call for Deanna Orange. All right, bench warrant. Oh, are you, go ahead, Ms. Adams.
No, they request a bench warrant. Thank you.
All right, bench warrant will be granted. So for the arraignment calendar, I have Carter, bench warrant bond forfeiture, Collins, no pros, Cook, no pros, Eccles is a possible plea, Fluellen, bench warrant, Hardin, bench warrant, Jones is appointed, so that's a conference, and Orange is a bench warrant. All right, are we ready to move to the jail calendar, or do you need some time, Mr. Lynch?
Judge, I think we are still working through some of it. We're going to need some interpreters, but I think it would make sense to go ahead and call it because we do have some matters resolved at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. All right, on the July 14th, 2026 jail calendar, first case on the calendar is Neri Aguilar Hernandez.
Judge, I believe we're going to need a Spanish interpreter to communicate with Mr. Aguilar Hernandez.
All right, so if we would ask one of the Spanish interpreters to log on or come down to the courtroom, that would be appreciated. So we'll have him in a few moments. Thank you,
It's
Ms.
been
Bell.
recorded. We just have to wait for him.
Deldon Artola.
Judge, that's the same announcement of confirmed he needs an interpreter.
Okay, Spanish interpreter.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Isaiah Kahim Bell.
Judge, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Bell is not in custody. Can y'all confirm there's no Bell? Looks like.
Yeah, the state is going to move to Norcross that one.
All right, Mr. Bell's case is being no prost. Jalen Tyler Cornwall. Jalen Tyler Cornwall.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Bug. We
Yes,
did
sir.
speak with Mr. Cornwall. I believe we may need an appointment order for his case unless the court already has us appointed.
Okay, go ahead and file the order and send the order and I'll sign it.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Janaisha Janine Desmond.
Okay. Judge, I think that person is not in custody.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah.
was the one
The
we talked
person.
about yesterday.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
she bonded out. She'll be put on another calendar. Let's see.
If we have an open case in file line, we do not need an appointment order because the application is not court. I don't know. It's been happening for years.
All right,
Your
next
Honor.
is, yes,
Desmond has been scheduled for September 10th at
okay,
1 p.m.
9, 10, 1 p.m. Thank you. All right, for Trepaniel Darrell Hardiman.
Judge, that's
Trepaniel
going to
Hardiman.
be a negotiated plea today.
Okay. Nathaniel Leva.
Judge, that's also going to be a negotiated plea today.
All right. Fernando Marin Garcias.
His counsel's here.
Okay, I think it's Garces. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Judge.
Good
Drew
morning.
Niner. Hi, good morning. Drew Niner for the Sperling Law Group. I'm here for Mr. Garces. I'm all but certain we have a negotiated plea. I just have to go over it with my client. Believe he will need an interpreter as well, but that should be a negotiated plea.
All right, so the interpreter should be in the courtroom pretty soon, or will be on video in order to assist, and we'll get it done. If she's on video, then you can sign in on your device, your phone, and use one of the conference rooms, and we can connect y'all through, the video.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, courtroom judge. I told you it was.
Oh, yes, she's coming to the courtroom. Never mind. Yeah, because we have enough where like the courtroom's going to be easier for them, I think. All right. Next is Oscar Oriana.
Judge, I believe we are going to need an interpreter, and I'm going to verify whether we need an appointment order on that case as well, but we will need an interpreter. And I know she's coming. Thank you.
Okay. And then Bruce Ricardo Otoreyes.
That will be a negotiated plea.
Okay. And do they need an interpreter also?
No, he's fluent in English.
All right. Next is Kenneth Kushi Pack.
Judge, I believe Mr. Pack, I'm not sure if he's here. He was at a preliminary hearing this morning. And you're familiar with Mr. Pack.
Yeah.
If we can get him up here, then we'll make an announcement. If not, it seems he's got another matter pending in state court or holding him in jail.
All right. Well, if he comes up, we'll deal with it. Antonio Sherman Pierce.
Judge, I haven't spoken to Mr. Pierce yet. I'm not sure whether we are appointed on this case.
All right, I'll appoint.
All right, I'll talk to him.
All right, and Deshaun Robinson, that's a petition.
Judge, that's going to be a stipulation, and we're going to ask the court to accept the recommendation from Mr. Carmichael.
Okay, and Kristen Page Rohr.
Judge, I'm going to need to conference with Ms. Rohr.
Next is Cesar Ruiz.
Judge, I expect that we're going to get that resolved. We will need an interpreter, though.
Okay. All right, next is Ricky Hamilton Scott.
Judge, I believe that Mr. Moore may have submitted a proposed order for a mental health eval.
I did sign one.
Okay.
Is this for Mr. Scott?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
And if we can address this case perhaps at the end of the calendar. I'm not sure whether we need procedurally, if there's anything else we need to do, but
if I sign the order, then we just hold the case until such time as we get information back.
Okay. Judge, is there could you resend the signed order to our office? We may not have a copy, or if we do, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was having some technical issues with my tablet yesterday. So I'll resend it. I thought I had cleared everything that I signed, but I'll look for it. Mr. Moore, I think, was the one who sent it to me. So I'll look for his name and resend it.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, no problem. Antoine Rashad Stanford.
Judge, that's a negotiated plea.
All right. Keaton DeLacy Styles.
Judge, I will need to conference with him and the state as well about what's going to be recommended by them to resolve.
Okay. Did you want to address anything now, or did you want to continue conferencing?
Judge, since we got two attorneys, if we could go ahead and do Mr. Robinson and run through a couple of these pleas that don't need any additional work.
Well,
then-
that sounds good. Let's go ahead and do the petition for Robinson, and then we'll do the pleas.
Okay, yeah. We're trying to do that.
And I'll keep talking to you.
You got word that an interpreter's coming?
If you speak us this mic.
Gotcha.
All right, good morning, Mr. Robinson. State of Georgia versus Deshaun Robinson, 2022 CR 06337. This is a petition for revocation of probation, and you're represented by Mr. Owen Lynch with the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Sir, you're before the court for failure to avoid injurious and vicious habits. It's stated that you tested positive for alcohol on June 3rd of 2026. The lab confirmation came in on June 8th of 2026. You were before this court for DUI, alcohol less safe. You were pled on the 18th day of May 2026, and you were sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 10 months and 1 day remaining, and your sentence was not told. Mr. Lynch, what is
Judge,
going on
I'm
with
sorry.
your client?
So Judge, we understand the basis for the petition, and my understanding is that Mr. Robinson was forthright and honest about the fact that he had violated that condition. Judge, he understands that his probation prohibits him from consuming alcohol. I don't expect that you'll see additional violations from Mr. Robinson for that particular condition, Judge, but he does admit that he consumed alcohol and is asking the court to.
Mr. Robinson, let's talk. So, how old are you, sir?
36.
Where are you working?
South Atlanta Vascular Institute,
Okay. What you do for them?
surgical tech.
Okay. Mr. Robinson. Okay, let's talk. You got a really, really good job.
Yes, ma'am.
Really good. And alcohol has ended you up in jail at least twice before me. Okay. So here's the issue. You're risking a lot. And if somebody told me that I would risk my really, really, really good job and time in the Clayton County Jail because I knew I wasn't supposed to drink, but I drank anyway, that would get me to start thinking that maybe I have an alcohol problem. Do you think you're an alcoholic, Mr. Robinson?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me tell you how I see it.
Yes, ma'am.
When you end up in an orange jumpsuit, when you have a conviction for DUI, when one of the things I tell you to do is, okay, you can't drink while you're on probation for this 12 months, because if you drink, that's going to violate your probation and you're going to come back. And then you drink and you come back and you're missing time off your job. You're in the Clayton County Jail, which is crazy enough right now to want to avoid it, but you don't think you have a problem with alcohol. It's a conversation, Mr. Robinson.
Oh, it was an honest mistake, Your Honor.
How so? What happened? Somebody handed you a Four Loko, or
No.
they gave you some punch and it just turned out to be rum punch? Like what was the mistake part?
Just having it in my refrigerator, and I mean, I no longer have it anymore, so
Okay.
it's not gonna happen again.
Okay. You know what happens when people fail to realize that they have a problem? This behavior gets repeated. This is your first hearing, and a lot of times when people have DUIs, I expect that their first hearing is going to be because they tested positive for alcohol, because I suspect that the DUI is because you have an out of control relationship with alcohol. If you could control it, you wouldn't be back here risking your job as a surgical tech.
Yes, ma'am.
But then when you come before me, most people will say, "Oh, no, no, I'm good. I don't have a problem." Well, the desire to avoid acknowledging that you have a problem means that you're not going to deal with the problem. And then you're going to end up back here in front of me. Now, I don't know if you have any previous DUI history. I'm not going to look, I'm not going to ask. But if you think back into your mind about times when alcohol has been a problem for you, I can't imagine that this is the first time that you've had an issue with alcohol. Now, you may not have been caught by the police driving. You may not have been in jail on an alcohol related offense, but you can think back to some times where you have overindulged and you probably shouldn't have in that situation. I don't know what's causing it, but I'm trying to get you to think so that you're not in this position again.
Yes, ma'am.
Just denying it and saying, "Oh, I've ended up before this judge at least 2 times. I've ended up in an orange jumpsuit at least 2 times. I'm missing time off work. I'm missing time at home. I'm missing time with my family. I'm jeopardizing a job that requires me to be efficient and technically compliant. But I'm gonna still say I don't think I have a problem with alcohol." I need you to think about that. Mr. Carmichael,
Yes, Your Honor.
what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Probation is recommending that the defendant receive credit for time since date of lockup and to return back to probation with the same conditions.
Does he have a community support meeting requirement?
Let me double check, Your Honor. I believe the answer is yes. No, he does not. Would you like
Okay.
him to?
Yeah,
Yes, Your
we're
Honor.
going to add that, Mr. Lynch, that he attends one community support meeting for the cessation of alcohol or drugs per week.
I understand the court's requirement.
I'm sorry?
Judge, I understand the court's order, and I'll communicate. Mr. Robinson understands that I prepared him for this possibility. Should be able to do it on.
Well, how do we go about doing it?
So, like AA meetings, they got them at churches and stuff. That's gonna be the easiest one to find. But
She said once a week. For how long?
I'm going to, but log some, and then you can talk to them about how long it's been. It's probably default the rest of probation.
How many days has he spent?
I didn't hear you, Your Honor.
How many days has he spent in jail?
Yes, Your Honor. He was arrested last week on the 8th. So 7 days, Your Honor.
Still on there?
All right, so Mr. Robinson, I'm going to
ma'am.
order you to go to a community support meeting for the cessation of substance abuse. So that can be Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, or some other meeting with those goals. You will also report to probation that you have attended those meetings. You will not miss any meetings, or else we'll be back here and we'll be having a different conversation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Um,
That starts.
And Your Honor, may I speak with the defendant for a moment?
you may.
Hey, Mr. Robinson, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Um, would you like to report this upcoming Thursday or Friday?
Thursday better.
Thursday's good. What time would you like?
We can keep the 3:30 going.
Okay. Actually, I would need for you to come at 3. Is that
3.
okay? Yes.
I'll make it work.
Yes, sir.
Talk to them about that. There's probably some flexibility, but within the next couple of weeks, it needs to get started, or else it's gonna be another problem. Okay, so we're not gonna see on Thursday. Start.
All right, so Mr. Robinson, think about what I said, okay? You're putting a lot of stuff at jeopardy, and you
ma'am.
need to figure out what is pushing you to risk a lot of things.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Your Honor,
Yes,
that was my only case. May I be excused?
yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You too.
I always my understanding is they can. Okay, that's all. So yeah, you been a lot of Your Honor, may I make an announcement?
Yes, Mr. Bug.
Good morning. We're ready
morning.
with Pierce for a plea of nolo for the no license.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bring
Can
him
he
up.
be brought out? Okay.
Yeah. Raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Mr. Sorry, I think I got the wrong one. State of Georgia versus Antonio Sharon Pierce, 2026 CR 06424 for no license. Mr. Pierce, you're represented by Attorney Wesley Bugg, who's with you at the podium. Mr. Bugg, what is your client plead to the offense before the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right. By entering a plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on this or your behalf to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis recommendation. I'll accept the stipulation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, recommendation.
Your Honor, the state is recommending a $500 suspended fine.
All right, $500 fine suspended for time served. Mr. Pierce, when we gonna stop meeting like this, sir? Well, this ain't our first meeting, right?
Your Honor, I do apologize. We're gonna ask that Mr. Pierce not be questioned at this time, Judge,
Okay.
considering what he's got going on.
Okay, I didn't know what he has going on anywhere else. I just know what he has had going on in front of me.
I
And
understand,
need
Your Honor, but your question
Mr.
is,
Pierce, you don't have to answer any questions that I ask you, but I do want you to consider that you got to start making some better choices for yourself, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want you to do that, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can go back with the sheriff's office. Your case is concluded.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
Your Honor, we're actually ready to go forward with the negotiated plea off the arraignment calendar for Miss Eccles. Unless you want to keep doing inmates.
I will do whoever y'all are ready for.
We're ready for a plea for Miss Eccles. Can you turn on your camera, please?
This is a new no license? Never mind. Yeah, Miss Eccles.
There she is.
I'm sorry.
No worries. I was about to text you.
No problem. See what we got here. All right, Ms. Eccles, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Yvonne. Is it Yvonne?
Yovan, yes.
Yvonne Sheree Eccles, 2024 CR 11139 for speeding, count 1, and no license, count 2.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, she's going to enter a nolo plea to the speeding charge, and the state, I believe, is going to null pros the license charge due to her having a valid license at this time.
All right, by entering a plea to of nolo to speeding, and the license charge will be null pros, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf to not incriminate yourself, and if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis recommendation.
Your Honor, on February 5th, 2024, at approximately 1:12 p.m., officers were conducting traffic enforcement on Tar Boulevard near its intersection with North Main Street in Jonesboro, Georgia, and that's in Clayton County, when they observed a black 2021 Nissan Versa traveling at a high rate of speed. The officer visually estimated the speed to be approximately 65 miles per hour, and then using his county-issued LiDAR, he detected the vehicle to be traveling at 63 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone.
Alright.
As to count one, the state is recommending a $100 fine. Well passed.
All right, so the fine is $100 with the surcharges from the state. It'll be $153 total, Ms. Eccles.
Okay.
Did you wish to have more than 30 days? Because you're not at the courthouse, I give you 30 days automatically. Did you need 60 days or did you wish to pay it within the 30 days?
Can I have 60 days just in case I can't pay it in the 30?
Yes, ma'am. So the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to send your email address. Do you know how to
Okay.
use the chat function?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I need you to do is go on to chat, go on to new chat, and you're going to choose April Heddens.
Okay.
Send her your email, your first and last name and your email address.
Yes, ma'am.
She's going to send you your sentencing sheet. It's going to have the exact date by which you need to pay. Please pay on or before that date, or an arrest warrant could eventually issue for you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can also, in the instructions, will also be information about how to pay online or by phone.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. All right. I think the only remaining case on the arraignment calendar is Jones, which was an appointment.
Yes, Judge. Judge, I'm going to speak to her next. I think we just got the paperwork.
Okay, that's fine.
For Ricky and any way for you, these are in our email as well, right? Can you save just his paperwork? Yeah. And then email that to Justin? Gotcha. And you just ask for a mental health care? He's expecting this paperwork, so you don't need to say anything. Just say accusation. So, which I do it in Word, but in resources for like. You want the shelters? Yes. I think something's over there. I'm pretty sure I put something over there. Yeah, this is what it is. Yeah, it's a good one page. Double sided. Yeah. That's what I know. Yeah.
Your Honor, we're prepared to move forward with Stanford if the court will allow.
All righty.
Deputy, can I get Stanford out here, please? Yes.
All right, Antoine Rashad Stanford, I'm ready.
This as resources. Different counties. Yeah.
All right, sir, raise your right hand for me.
Come over so she can see.
Come, yeah, thank you. Mr. Stanford, raise your right hand for me. Oh, I see it. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Mr. Stanford, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Antoine Rashad Stanford, 2026 CR 06422 for criminal trespass. You're represented by attorney Mr. Bug, who's with you at the podium. Mr. Bug, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right, by entering a plea of nolo to criminal trespass, sir, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf to not incriminate yourself. And sir, if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
Factual basis recommendation, please.
Your Honor, defense
Yes,
would
Your Honor.
stipulate if the court would allow.
I need to hear it so that I know if there's anybody who needs to have no contact.
Understood.
All right, go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 23rd, 2026, officers on directed patrol at the Atlanta airport, located at 6000 North Terminal Parkway, Atlanta, Georgia, in Clayton County, observed the defendant approaching passengers, asking them for money. The officer approached the defendant and asked if he was flying out, and the defendant stated no. The officer asked the defendant if he paid for the bag of candies, and he stated no, he stole it. And then the officer then detained the defendant. As to count one, the state is recommending 12 months to serve, days, credit for the time served.
I'm
The
sorry,
balance,
your voice went out on the time, on the day served.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, 20 days.
Okay,
Credit for the time served. The balance will suspend as long as the defendant does not return to the incident location unless he's ticketed and unless he has no new violations of law.
all right. Mr. Bug, anything from you about your client?
Your Honor, I've shared with Mr. Stanford a list of resources. He hopes to enter into a program where this type of behavior won't come up again. So he would like to accept the state's offer at this time.
All right, Mr. Stanford, Mr. Bug has given you some information, sir, that might help you avoid this. They're cracking down at the airport, so anybody who's not ticketed or who's not working there, they're calling the police and they're having you arrested. So please be careful.
Yes, Your Honor.
See if there's some help on that page that Mr. Bug gave you that can help you kind of get back, because it's hard when you come out of jail, especially if you don't have somebody who's there to assist you. So check that out, make some phone calls and see if you can get back on your feet, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so 12 months to serve 20 days credit for time served, balance suspended, so that you, as long as you do not go back to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport without a ticket for travel on that date, and work, and as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia. All right, you can go back with the sheriff's office.
You're not there.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so I didn't know who else was ready. I know we're still waiting on the interpreter, so I'm not sure if first appearance is going on or prelim downstairs. Sometimes that can take a little while.
I'm about to check on them now, Judge.
All right. Oh, here she is. Oh, Miss Bermudez, just in time. So, Miss Bermudez, we got you loaded up today. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 people for you to talk to.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we'll take them whenever y'all are ready.
I believe, oh, well, he just stepped out. I believe that Mr. Garces case is ready, but the attorney just stepped outside.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, it is ready.
Could you help me with a few, please?
All right, so Mr. Bug, Mr. Lynch, y'all know the drill. Prioritize Miss Bermudez so we can get her to another court if she needs to.
Yes, Your Honor, we're on it right now.
Thank you.
Go ahead and take care of yours.
Okay, yeah, I'm in a Zoom too right now that just got called, but yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And Your Honor, this is Attorney Drew Niner. I am ready on Fernando Garces whenever the court is ready.
I'm ready.
I just need him to get brought out.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Garces.
Buenos días, señor Garces.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
Sir, you're before the court on state of Georgia. One second. State of Georgia versus Fernando Marin Garces. Your attorney, Mr. Niner, is with you at the podium.
Niner está con usted en el podio.
This is case 2026 CR 06612. You're before the court for simple battery family violence.
Simple violencia intrafamiliar.
Count 1.
Cargo número 1.
Simple battery, count 2.
Simple, cargo número 2.
Cruelty to children, counts 3 and 4.
Cargo número 3 y 4.
Mr. Niner, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Su cliente de los cargos ante la corte.
So, Your Honor,
Su
we
señoría,
spoke with the state.
Nosotros hablamos con el
Our
Estado
understanding is that
y por
we're
lo que
pleading
entendemos,
to an amended charge of
no
a
estamos declarando
county
un cargo
ordinance
amendado, el
disorderly
cual sería
conduct.
un,
And
cargo
we're
And that's
pleading
gonna be
no
count
to
1.
that.
de alterar el orden público.
I'm sorry?
¿Lo siento?
And
No,
What's-
I was just saying that was count 1, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter didn't get what Ms. Adams just said.
I just said that was count 1.
Thank you. Y ese
Thank
sería el
you.
cargo número.
Mr. Garces, raise your right hand for me.
Levante su mano derecha para mí.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
¿Cómo hacer la verdad?
Sí,
Yes,
de acuerdo.
Okay.
I do swear.
All right, you can put your hand down.
Okay, puede bajar su mano.
Right, and Mr. Niner is for the county ordinance, is that a guilty?
Fue
It's a no-lo, Judge.
un cargo del
Okay.
condado. Es culpable, es una declaración de no, su señoría.
By entering a plea to count 1, the amended charge of county ordinance violation, disorderly conduct,
Alterar el orden
you
público.
give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge.
Pues, cuando un jurado,
You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
una duda razonable.
You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to present evidence and testimony on your behalf,
Para ser usados en su defensa.
to not incriminate yourself.
Mismo,
And if you are not a United States citizen,
ciudadano
a
del-
plea of guilty
una declaración
or
de
no contest
o de nulo,
could negatively impact your immigration status.
estatus migratorio.
Do you understand all of these things, sir?
¿Entiende usted todo eso, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Factual basis and recommendation. Interpreter speak, please.
Recomendación a la velocidad del intérprete, por favor.
Yes, young.
Sí, señoría.
On April 26, 2026,
26 de abril del 2020,
at approximately 10:45 p.m.,
a las
officers responded to 6440
4:00
Boca Raton Court,
Boca Raton Court,
Forest Park, Georgia,
Forest Park,
30297 in Clayton County in reference to a domestic disturbance.
con respecto a una
Upon arrival, officers made contact with the defendant, who stated that he and the victim,
él y la víctima,
the victim's name is Yasmin Morin,
Yasmin Moren,
YASMIN MARIN. He stated that he and the victim were living together, but they're not currently together.
que la víctima, la
He
víctima
stated that he and the victim were arguing verbally,
diciendo
and the argument continued into their daughter's room,
y
where he tried to get their daughter's cell phone because
a la
there was footage and information on the cell phone
información
regarding the victim talking to someone else.
en el teléfono con respecto a la víctima estar hablando con
All right.
The officer then made contact with the victim, who stated that
la víctima, la cual dijo
during the verbal altercation,
el altercado verbal,
the defendant got angry and grabbed her shoulders, trying to push her around.
la agarró por los hombros,
She pulled away from the defendant and started to walk away when the defendant put his arm around her neck and pulled her backwards in an attempt to try to make her fall down the stairs. The victim was able to grab the railing to prevent herself from falling backwards.
y la víctima se pudo agarrar de la barandilla para no caerse hacia atrás.
Okay. Recommendation.
La recomendación
As to count 1, the state is recommending 6 months to serve 30 days.
para servir
credit for the time served. The balance will suspend as long as the defendant has no contact with the victim, Yasmin Marin, and as long as he has no new violations of law.
Mr. Niner, do they have children together?
Yes, Judge.
Is there a plan for how these children are going to be supported with a no contact order?
So, Your Honor, full disclosure, part of our biggest concern here is that he does have an ICE hold. That's a big part of why we reached this resolution.
I got you.
First things first is we're trying to get that squared away, kind of taking things one at a time. We just got this resolution today. They do have other family members in the area. They're gonna have to make it work.
Okay. Mr. Garces, I know there are some things where you just can lose your head. But first of all, you can't make somebody be faithful to you or stay with you. If you suspect they're cheating and you start looking through their phone, that relationship is already over. Anytime you lose trust in somebody to the point where you got to go through their phone, that relationship's done. The best thing is to square yourself away, co-parent your children, get some help for the heartache, but don't put yourself in a position where you lose everything you're trying to build. You know what the consequences are. We clear? All right. So I'm going to accept your plea to county disorderly, 6 months, 30 days credit for time served. Balance will be suspended as long as you have no contact with Yasmin Marin and have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia during the 6 months. All right. Thank you, sir. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
Okay. Your family will be in touch with my office. Okay. Very quick, Judge.
Yes, sir.
How do we go about getting a copy of that disposition?
Go down to the second floor, the traffic court window, they can print you one.
Okay. Is it usually ready now?
Now, yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
They'll be able to print you one and they can just put my signature on file, because they haven't sent it to me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I have an announcement off the arraignment calendar or the OTB arraignment calendar.
All right.
Judge, Miss Taisha Jones, on the case that's pending today, the reckless conduct case we just got appointed to, she does wish to enter a not guilty plea today, and we can waive formal reading. Judge, I was told she has a pending SSD. I did look up that case. She did state that she is able to pay that in full today if the court would. I don't know if anything needs to happen to make that.
She can go downstairs to the second floor to the traffic court window, and she can go ahead and pay it today, and then there'll be no further consequences.
Okay. And you're able to make that happen? Okay. She's going to just go ahead and take that.
All right. And then she'll just wait for notice in the mail for her next available court date.
Absolutely, Judge.
All right. So that concludes the arraignment calendar.
So did she enter not guilty for this case, Judge?
Yeah. That's my understanding, Mr. Lynch, correct?
Yes, Judge. Yeah, yes, Ms. Bell.
Yes, so she has a not guilty. Also, please remind her of her bond conditions.
Yes, Judge. Actually, I don't think it's gonna be possible for her to violate that condition, but.
What was that for again?
For
That was
Taisha
Taisha.
Jones on the arraignment calendar.
Thank you.
So that will be the last active case on the arraignment calendar. And now we're back to jail.
Excuse me, Judge, what were
Yes.
counts 2 to 4 on the Garces case?
Counts 2, 3, and 4 were no pros.
Okay,
Count-
thank you, Judge.
Yeah, count 1 was amended.
Judge, we're ready to go forward on a plea for Mr. Hardiman. I think Mr.
Okay.
Bug
Y'all
is,
also have Leva who's ready too.
yes, Judge.
Okay,
those
I'm
are my
ready.
thoughts.
Raise your right hand for me, Mr. Hardiman. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on 2026 CR 06615 for no license, count 1, speeding, count 2, DUI, alcohol, per se, count 3. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plea to the offenses before the court?
Judge, it's gonna be guilty pleas to all 3 counts.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to counts 1, 2, and 3, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Factual basis recommendation, please.
Your Honor, on June 26, 2026, officers on routine patrol on Tower Boulevard and Highway 138 in Clayton County observed a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria traveling on the roadway, rapidly accelerating and changing lanes. Eventually, he observed the defendant traveling 72 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. Based on those observations, the officer then initiated a traffic stop and made contact with the defendant. The officer observed a moderate odor of alcoholic beverage emanating from the defendant's person. He observed that the defendant's speech was slurred and that the defendant had bloodshot red eyes and a flushed face. The officer then requested that the defendant perform standardized field sobriety testing, to which he agreed. The officer performed those tests and the defendant performed poorly. The officer read the defendant implied consent. And to which he agreed for blood. And then the BAC, I'm sorry. have that with me. Um, he didn't even get blood, excuse me. The officer read implied consent, and originally he agreed for blood. But later on, the defendant was adamant that he wasn't under the influence, and he requested a breath test to prove it. The officer then reread the defendant implied consent for breath, and then the defendant agreed. At that point, the officer performed the intoxilizer portable breath test, and the test indicated a BRAC of 0.114. Additionally, as it relates to the no license charge, the officer determined that the defendant did not have a license during the interaction, and additionally charged him with no license for driving on Georgia roadways with no license. As to count 1, the state is recommending a $1,000 suspended fine. This is his second arrest in 5 years for the no license charge. As to count 2, the state is recommending a $150 suspended fine. And count 3, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for the time served. The balance will be probated for the defendant to pay a $300 fine, complete 40 hours of community service, complete a risk reduction program, complete a substance abuse evaluation, and follow any recommended treatment. And the defendant is to have no drugs or alcohol, and he is subject to random screenings and tests.
Mr. Lynch?
Judge, I am asking the court to accept the plea as negotiated.
Mr. Hardiman?
Yes, ma'am.
You gonna drive with no license, then you're gonna speed, then you're driving under the influence. Did you not think you might attract attention? I'm just really confused. So this is your second no license. The third one, I'm sure, as Mr. Lynch has told you, is going to be a $1,500 fine. The fourth one will be a felony. Now, it would be horrible to get a felony on your record for a traffic offense, not trafficking, a traffic offense. The second thing is, if you don't have a license and you know you're not supposed to be driving, why would you run the risk of attracting attention by being under the influence of alcohol and speeding? And if you don't have a license, then you don't have insurance. If you don't have insurance and you hit somebody, you maim or kill somebody, then there's no way of the family of that person being compensated because you don't have insurance. And I don't know if you have sufficient personal funds. I mean, you could be rolling like that, but I don't know if you have sufficient personal funds to at least compensate them for the injury or loss that you would have caused. Now, I want you to think about it this way. If your mama was in a car and somebody hit her and caused her to lose her life or caused her to have significant injury, and then you found out not only were they driving with no license, but they were also impaired, and this was not the first no license charge, this was a subsequent one, how would you feel about that? So don't do that to somebody else. Don't do that to somebody else. All right, so I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to counts 1, 2, and 3. I'll sentence you on count 1 to a $1,000 fine suspended for credit for time served. Count 2 will be a $150 fine suspended for credit for time served. And count 3, which will run concurrent with counts 1 and 2, 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served. Balance will be probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $300. It's going to have surcharges. They're going to be expensive. 40 hours of community service, a risk reduction course, substance abuse evaluation, and any treatment that may be ordered by the evaluator. You're to have no alcohol or illicit drugs. Now, see, people think that they're gonna skip the test and gonna catch it, or we're not gonna find it, or that you're not gonna get that random test right after. But sir, no alcohol, no illicit drugs. We clear? All right. And you're subject to random screens for alcohol and drugs. Now, the quickest way to get rearrested is to fail to attend your probation reports. Because if you don't show up for probation, I will definitely get an arrest warrant and I will sign it. If you have any difficulty completing any of the special conditions of probation, please talk to your probation officer and they will assist you in order to help you be successful on probation. But if you don't tell them, they won't know. They can't help you. Got me? All right, you can go back with the sheriff's office. All right, y'all had a plea. My understanding was for Leyva.
Yep. Can y'all pull Leyva next?
I did find the Scott order and I sent it. I thought I had signed it, but maybe it didn't go through before, so I sent it again.
Thank you, Judge.
So Scott can go back, is my understanding. Has Mr. Pat come up from prelims?
Judge, the deputy just stepped out to grab Mr. Leyva, but I'll
Okay,
ask about that.
no problem. All right. Is this Mr. Leyva?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So Mr. Nathan U. Leyva, you're before the court on 2026 CR 06616 for no license, count 1, no tag light, count 2, no tail lights, count 3, headlights covered, count 4. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, he's going to plead guilty to count 1. I believe the remaining charges are going to be null prost.
All right, by entering a plea of guilty to no license, count 1, counts 2, 3, and 4 will be no pros. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Mr. Leyva?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
We don't mind stipulating that he didn't have a valid license at the date of the stop.
Okay, that's fine. Recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $500 suspended fine in consideration for the time he's been in jail.
All right, Mr. Leyva, I'll accept your plea of guilty to count 1, $500 fine suspended for credit for time served. Counts 2, 3, and 4 will be no pros. Sir, if you're driving without a license, it's too easy for them to figure that out. All it takes is a tag reader. And once they start there, it's too easy to figure out you don't have a license. And then he went into tag light and head, tail. I mean, all of this. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
Get your license, man.
I will.
All right. Go. You can go back to the sheriff's office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, bring out Otero next.
Okay. So we still have Aguilar Hernandez, Artola, Cornwall, Oriana, Ortero Reyes, Pack, Roar, Ruiz, and Styles.
Yes, Judge, and they're bringing out Mr. Otero right now for his plea. And
Okay.
Mr. Bug is speaking with an interpreter to some of the all the other clients in need of the
Yeah,
interpreter.
that's fine. So Mr. Otero Reyes is fluent in English. So once we do his, if you all want to break to do conferencing, that's fine.
That's what we'll, yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. This is case 2026 CR 06613 for Bruce Ricardo Ortero Reyes. Mr. Ortero Reyes, you're before the court for criminal trespass with damage to property. You're represented by attorney Owen Lynch, who's with you. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can put your hand down. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offense before the court?
Judge, he's going to plead nolo today.
All right. By entering a plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Factual basis recommendation, please.
Your Honor, on April 23rd, 2026, at approximately 1:10 p.m., officers responded to 6589 Highway 85, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274 in Clayton County in reference to a disturbance. Upon arrival, officers observed that the business, the Riverdale Lodge, had 2 front windows shattered. The officer then made contact with the complainant, who was an employee of the Jiffy Lube Auto Shop, which is situated next to the Riverdale Lodge. And the complainant advised that he heard someone yelling and then he heard glass shatter. The complainant advised that he had went to see what caused the noise, and he saw the defendant kicking and destroying the windows of the Riverdale Lodge. The defendant, the complainant advised what the defendant was wearing, and the officer made contact with the defendant and observed a cut on the defendant's right hand and blood around it. At that point, yes,
sorry.
he was taken into custody. The officer detained the defendant. As to count 1, the state is recommending 12 months to serve. $30 days. Credit for the time served. The balance will suspend as long as the defendant does not return to the Riverdale Lodge, or it's formerly the Riverdale Lodge. It's no longer in business anymore, but to the business located at 6589 Highway 85, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274, and as long as he doesn't have any violations of law.
Mr. Lynch, anything on behalf of Mr. Otero Reyes?
Judge, we've spoken about this. I am asking the court to accept the recommendation. I think Mr. Otero expressed that he needs to find some better ways to deal with some of the issues that he's dealing with. And he's going to try, I think, to reunite with some family and to try to get himself on a better path.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 24 years old, Your Honor.
Mr. Otero Reyes, your life is just starting, but it will go quick. I vaguely remember being 24 years old, but it went fast. And so what I'm telling you is you got to get a hold to things now. If you don't get a hold to your life now, and you're doing destructive stuff like this, because this didn't have to happen. You could have cussed and punched the air and still got the same effect without going to jail.
3 months ago, wishing I, Your Honor, wishing I one time. You know, I definitely, I definitely learned my lesson, and I actually been doing courses. I actually forgot my paper, so you can check the, the EDOVO
Yeah.
learning. I actually learned that when I get quick angry, I learn how my body reacts, and I never really think about stuff like that. I learn how my body reacts. My heart will race, or
Yep.
I'll be quick to jump to think instead of just slowing down. Being here, it definitely it taught me to just slow down, and on top of that, it's just I was just explaining to my other inmates like it could have led me to do something else worse out of anger. So
Yeah.
lesson learned.
Mr. Otero Reyes, you are learning some very valuable lessons. Let's hope that these lessons stick with you and you put them into practice, because you're too young to waste your life on stupid stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
What I need you to do is, once you get out of jail, I need you to sit down with a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to come up with 5 things that you want to accomplish in the next year. 5 things. They can be big things, they can be small things, but you have to set your intentions, because if you are just out here winging it every day, this is what happens. But if you set your intentions and you work towards those intentions, then the universe has a way of kind of like putting things in your path that will help you. Okay? But you can't just go out and be destructive because something didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen. And I know that you say you are getting help recognizing patterns and things and avoiding that, and that's a good thing. But the next step is to have a plan for your life. Even if everything that you put on that list doesn't come true, there will be other things that happen that are good for you because you had some intention. Does what I'm saying make sense?
At this point, since I was thinking, yes, ma'am. I was thinking if my record's not bad, I can join the military, knock out 4 years, and
Well, that's an option too. But all I ask is that whatever your next moves are, make sure they are intentional. And usually that happens if you start thinking about stuff and writing it down. Okay? All right. So I'm going to accept your plea, 12 months, 30 days credit for time served. The balance will be suspended as long as you do not go back to that address at 6589 Highway 85, Riverdale, Georgia, and you have no new violations of the law. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Reyes. I want to see some good things from you.
You will.
All right, take care.
Okay, Judge, if we could just have a few minutes to conference and we'll be back.
Yeah, that's fine. Y'all just let me know when you're ready. I'm coughing, so I'm gonna go grab some tea, and I'll be right back.
Oh, you're saying you're ready for it to.
Your Honor, we're prepared to move forward with several inmate cases when the court will allow.
I am ready.
Okay. Can we start with Mr. Oscar Aurelia?
All right, Mr. Oscar Oriana.
Por acá, de frente a la jueza todo el tiempo, conteste las preguntas que ella le haga. Yo solamente necesito saber detrás de usted, siempre de frente a la jueza.
Raise your right hand for me, sir.
Mano derecha para mi señor.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true?
La verdad. I do swear.
You can put your hand down.
Dejar su mano.
You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Oscar Oriana. um, 2026 CR 06567 for battery family violence count 1,
Violencia intrafamiliar, cargo número 1.
battery count 2,
Agresión física, cargo número 2.
simple battery family violence count 3,
Violencia intrafamiliar, cargo número 3.
simple battery count 4,
Agresión física simple, cargo número 4.
Mr. Bug, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, we would plead guilty, but we would like to do so under Alford v. North Carolina, and I can provide more facts when it is appropriate.
You said guilty under Alford. You need to move closer to the Miss Bermudez's position. Fine. You just need to move closer to the red microphone.
Alford v. North Carolina.
Okay, and he's entering an Alford plea to which charge?
Count 1, Your Honor.
Okay. Counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge.
That's my understanding.
Factual basis and recommendation, please. Oh, I'm sorry. One moment. Mr. Oriana, by entering this plea under Alford v. North Carolina, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to present evidence and testimony on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes.
Factual basis and recommendation, please, Ms. Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 4th, 2026, at approximately 7:48 p.m., officers were dispatched to 6311 Murphy Drive. In Morrow, Georgia, and that's in Clayton, Georgia, regarding an incident that occurred at the Bloom Apartments, located at 6252 North Lee Street. Morrow, Georgia, 30260, and that's in Clayton County. Upon arrival to the location they were dispatched to, officers made contact with the victim, Blanca Estefani Flores Cardona, and I'll spell that for you later, Your Honor, who stated that the defendant and her were seated inside of the car
estaban dentro del vehículo,
when he
cuando él,
began striking her.
cuando él comenzó a pegarle.
The the victim stated that the situation was an ongoing domestic violence issue,
La situación era una
and she stated that she is tired of those circumstances and wanted to leave
que ella se quería marchar,
the situation but did not know what to do.
que en esa situación ya no sabía qué hacer.
Officers observed bruising on the victim's arms, legs, and face.
Marca en la cara, en la pierna y en los brazos.
And when officers made contact with the defendant, he stated that he only tried to get the victim back in the car.
Contacto con el acusado, él dijo que solamente estaba tratando de que la víctima, de mantener a la víctima en el vehículo.
Hey, Mr. Scott, Mr. Scott.
Ready for the recommendation, Your Honor?
Mm-hmm.
The state is recommending 12 months to serve,
El Estado está recomendando 12 meses para servir,
30 days, credit for the time served. The balance will be
para, can you repeat that, Ms. Adams, for the interpreter?
yes,
There is
12 months to serve 30 days,
12 meses para servir,
credit for the time served.
crédito por el tiempo ya servido,
The balance will be probated
sería bajo libertad condicional,
for the defendant to pay a $300 fine,
$300,
complete 40 hours of community service.
40 horas de trabajo comunitario.
And I'm not sure if you communicated this, Mr. Bug, but complete a FVIP course.
I did share it with them, but it's
Okay.
required.
And he's to have no contact with the victim, Blanca Flores, and her name is spelled Blanca, Estefani, Estefani, Flores, Flores, Carolina, Carolona.
Mr. Bug?
Señor Buck?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, sí, señorías.
As mentioned in the police report,
Como se mencionó en el informe policial,
the two involved parties were in a vehicle,
estaban en el vehículo,
and at some point,
en algún momento,
the alleged victim tried to leave the vehicle
quiere salirse del vehículo,
while the vehicle was moving.
el vehículo se estaba moviendo.
The defendant
El acusado
did not want her to harm herself,
quería
so
que ella
he
se lastimara,
attempted to
o sea, que él trató
restrain her so that she would not
de
leave the
agarrarla
moving
para que ella no
vehicle.
se tirara del
And then
vehículo que
soon
estaba moviendo.
after,
Y después de esto,
quickly moved and parked the vehicle
él se
to
movió
allow
y
her to
estacionó,
leave,
el
to not
vehículo para permitir a ella
escalate
que
the
saliera,
situation.
para que la situación no se pusiera peor.
So that is why we are
Esa es
asking
la
for
razón por la que estamos
the
pidiendo
Alford v. North Carolina. I do
que
believe
sea la
there may
declaración de
be
Alford contra
either
Estados
defense of
Unidos,
property
porque nosotros pensamos que hay una defensa
or defensive self-argument,
de propiedad o de argumento propio.
but the defendant in this case would like to resolve the
Pero
case
el
today
acusado en este caso quiere solucionar el caso en el día de hoy.
and is willing to do the family violence
Y
class.
está dispuesto a hacer la clase de violencia doméstica.
So therefore, we're asking that the court accepts the
Por esa
negotiated
razón, le
plea
estamos pidiendo a la corte que acepte el acuerdo ya negociado,
under the Alford v. North Carolina
bajo la ley de
doctrine.
Alford contra Carolina del Norte.
Mr. Oriana,
Señor Orellana,
if somebody is willing to jump out of a moving car to avoid contact with you,
a tirarse de un carro que se está moviendo para evitar contacto,
something is seriously wrong.
algo está muy, muy mal.
If somebody doesn't want to be with you to the extent that they would risk their life
Ellos pondrían su vida en peligro
to get away from you,
para alejarse de usted,
then you got to think that maybe you're the problem.
quizás usted es el problema.
Even taking what you say is true, this woman was willing to risk her life to jump out of a moving car to get away from you. I'm going to accept your plea of guilty under Alfred v. North Carolina to count 1. Count 2, 3, and 4 will be will merge. I'm going to sentence you to 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served. The balance will be probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $300, which will be $444 with the surcharges. 40 hours of community service, a 24-week family violence intervention program. If you miss or are late for more than 3 classes, they will make you start all over again. And you're to have no contact with Blanca Estefania Flores Cardona. And that means
I am so sorry, Your Honor. I do have a note
Yes.
that they share children and that she would like contact for that reason only.
you can do that through the court.
Okay, thanks.
You can go through the Superior Court. You can pay child support. You can mail the payment to the address. But there shall be no other contact other than you paying for your children. If you all get something through the Superior Court regarding custody or visitation with the children, then you can follow the Superior Court's order, but you're to have no contact with Miss Blanca Estefania Flores Cardona. And if you're not married to her or have not legitimized those children, you're to have no contact with the children until such time as a Superior Court judge grants you contact through a procedure for custody or visitation. If you violate the terms of the sentence by having contact with Ms. Flores Cardona, you will be arrested and serve the remainder of the 12-month sentence in jail. You will also be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies, particularly the felony of aggravated stalking, which is punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Do you understand?
Yes.
Think about the fact that this woman who has children who need her was willing to risk her life by jumping out of a moving car to get away from you. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
Mr. Bob, do you have the water that you want?
Yes. So she's not gonna go forward with the open container. Yeah, so just count 1 and 2. Perfect, thank you. Oh. Oh, yeah. You okay?
Yeah, that's what he's gonna get me.
Okay. Ruiz.
Orellana, Orellana.
With the O.
Ruiz.
So they're gonna no trust, two open container charge, and he's just gonna clean all of the other two.
To the,
No license and no tag. Hmm?
I thought he was just pleading no load and no license.
That's what they know.
So here's the man of the hour. He can make sure we do this. Maybe that time.
Disculpa, me dijiste que los hizo de crear no, ¿verdad?
No.
All right, who's this?
¿Quién es este? Acérquese por acá.
Cesar Ruiz, Your Honor.
César,
Okay.
de frente a la plataforma.
All right, Mr. Cesar Ruiz,
Señor César Ruiz.
you're before the court on case 2026 CR 06435 for no license, count one. No tag, expired or invalid tag, count two. And counts 3 and 4, open container violation. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true.
Sí.
Yes.
All right. You can put your hand down. Mr. Bug, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, defendant will plead nolo to count 1 and 2. And I believe count 3 and 4 will be resolved through a negotiated plea.
No, Ross, yeah.
You mean a no pros?
Yes, I think I said handled through a negotiated plea, but there will be no process. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ruiz, by entering a plea of nolo to counts 1 and 2, counts 3 and 4 will be no pros. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, to have the presumption of innocence in your favor, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things?
Sí.
Yes.
Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Your Honor, defense will stipulate if the court will allow.
Recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. As to count 1, the state is recommending a $500 suspended fine. Count 2, the state is recommending a $100 suspended fine. The remaining counts will be no pressed.
All right. Mr. Ruiz, it doesn't make any sense, sir, for you to draw attention to yourself if you have no license by having no proper tag. and having open containers in your car.
tener envases alcohólicos abiertos en su vehículo.
That's not a very smart thing to do.
Una decisión muy inteligente.
Are we clear?
¿Estamos claros?
Sí.
Yes.
If you're operating a vehicle, you need to make sure that you're properly licensed and the vehicle has everything properly addressed as far as tag, insurance, and any of those things. You understand?
Seguro y todo, ¿entiende usted?
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I do
All right.
understand.
Y una disculpa.
And I
All
apologize.
right. So count one is $500 suspended. Count two, $100 suspended to run concurrent,
Una multa de $100 suspendida y
and 3 and 4 null pros. You can go back with the sheriff.
estimado puede retirarse con el alguacil.
Una pregunta, ¿cuándo saldría mi caso?
I have a question. When am I going to be released?
Today.
En el día de hoy.
Okay. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Azul. Azul.
Yeah, and that's why. All right. Your Honor, may we bring Arolta, Artola next?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
De frente a la jueza todo el tiempo. Acérquese un poquito y conteste las preguntas que ella le hace.
Bueno.
Raise your right hand for me, sir.
Levante su mano derecha para mí, señor.
You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
La verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
You can put your hand down.
Su mano.
Mr. Deldin Artola,
Delvin Artola.
Sí.
Yes.
you're before the court on 2026 CR 06379.
Sí.
Yes.
Improper lane change, count 1.
Cargo número 1.
No license, count 2.
Cargo número 2.
Driving under the influence, count 3.
Cargo número 3.
Mr. Bug, what is your client plea to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, count 1 will be no pros, count 2 no low, and count 3 guilty.
Cargo número 3 culpable.
By entering a plea of nolo to count 2
Solo del cargo número 2
and guilty to count 3,
y culpable el cargo número 3.
count 1 will be no pros.
Pero 1 sería desestimado.
Sir, you can put your hands down.
Puede bajar su mano.
You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself, and if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes.
All right, factual basis, recommendation, please.
Your Honor, we would stipulate if the court would allow.
Not to a DUI.
Yes, Your Honor. Give me 1 second. I have the part of the report that's the DUI investigation. Well, in any event, that so on June 14, 2026, Officer Caleb Morrison responded to North Main Street and Hunt Road in Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, in reference to an officer needing assistance on a DUI. That officer made contact with the officer that was already on scene, Lieutenant House of Riverdale Police Department, who advised that the defendant was driving down Valley Hill Road when he observed a 2007 Honda Accord failed to maintain his lane. At that point, the original officer initiated a traffic stop on the defendant, and when he made contact with the defendant appeared to be impaired under the influence while he was conducting the original investigation. Additionally, the original officer found that the defendant did not have a valid license. At that point, the Officer Morrison took over the investigation and observed the defendant continuing to have an inability to maintain his stance. The defendant had glossy eyes, and he had an odor of an alcoholic beverage stemming from his person. The officer asked the defendant to participate in standardized field sobriety testing, to which he agreed. The officer performed the HGN test and observed 6 out of 6 clues. And the officer declined to do any other sobriety testing at that moment due to the defendant advising he had a foot injury. At that point, the officer read or determined the defendant to be under the influence and read implied consent to the defendant, where the defendant agreed to breath. The defendant was transported to headquarters or to Jonesboro Police Department headquarters and was given an intoxilizer, and the BRAC was 0.135.
Recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. As to count 2, the state is recommending a $500 suspended fine. Count 3, The state is recommending 12 months to serve, 1 day, credit for the time served. The balance will be probated for the defendant to pay a $300 fine. The defendant is to have a substance abuse evaluation and follow any recommended treatment. The defendant is to not have any drugs or alcohol and is subject to random screens and tests. And the defendant is to complete 40 hours of community service.
Did you say $300 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bug.
Your Honor, that is what we have agreed to, and we would ask the court to accept the negotiated plea.
So count one will be no pros, count two will be a $500 fine.
A $500 suspended fine, Your Honor.
Suspended. Count two will run concurrent with count three, 12 months to serve 1 day. Credit for time served.
Yes, Your Honor.
Balance will be probated to pay a fine in the amount of $300. It's going to be quite a bit more than that with the surcharges. A substance abuse evaluation. Any treatment that might be ordered. A risk reduction course. 40 hours of community service. No alcohol or illicit drugs during the 12 months of your probation. And you're subject to random screens for alcohol and drugs. Mr. Artola, it makes no sense to draw attention to yourself by having a vehicle that is not, people are going to see and think, oh, hey, let's check this out. Or by getting on the road when you're impaired and having an accident. If you kill someone, there's nothing I can sentence you to that would be worse than waking up every morning knowing that you took someone's life. You don't get to do that. Okay?
Okay,
You're going to go back with the sheriff's office and probation will contact you.
Got one more left. Yeah, he was fine when I saw him.
Ms. Bermudez, you're getting a workout today, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We just have one more.
Not going to the gym for me, Judge. Señora Aguilar, por acá, de frente a la jueza, asegúrese de contestar las preguntas que ya le hago.
Sí.
This is Mr. Aguilar Hernandez.
Señora Aguilar Hernández.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría. Yes.
Raise your right hand for me.
Levante su mano derecha para mí.
You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Sí, lo juro.
Yes, I do swear.
You can put your hand down.
Puede dejar su mano.
You're before the court on 2026 CR 06618 for Neri Aguilar Hernandez. Count one is no license.
No tiene licencia de conducir.
Count two is suspended registration.
La registración suspendida.
Count three is no insurance.
No tener seguro.
And count four is no tag, or expired or invalid tag.
Número 4 es no tener placa, tenerla suspendida o vencida.
Mr. Bug, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Feliz
Your Honor, could the state share what counts they're going forward with?
I'm sorry, can the state share?
What's the agreement, Ms. Adams?
Which counts you're going forward with?
Well, does he have insurance?
No, he does not.
So it would be count 1 and count 3, a $200 fine on count 3, $500 fine on count 1.
And is the state willing to suspend the fines?
I will, in consideration of his jail time, I typically do $100 per day, but let me confirm that. Yes, I'll suspend those fines because he's been in since June 23rd.
Your Honor, we'll be pleading no low to count 1 and count 3.
By entering a plea of no low to counts 1 and count 3, count 2 and count 4 will be no pros. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Factual basis and recommendation, please. I'll let you stipulate to this.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. As to count 1, the state is recommending a $500 suspended fine. Count 3, the state is recommending a $200 suspended fine. And then the remaining counts, 2 and 4, will be no cost.
All right. Mr. Aguilar Hernandez, it's too easy to give you a ticket or pull you over if you're driving in a car that doesn't have the appropriate registration license tag decal. Count 1 is a $500 suspended fine for credit for time served. That will run concurrent with count 3, a $200 suspended fine for credit for time served. The remaining counts are no pros. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So remaining on the calendar, I have Cornwall, Roar, and Styles, and I think that concludes everything for Ms. Bermudez.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be
Thank you, Ms. Bermudez. Go take a break.
Yes. Sure.
Thank you, Mr.
Hey, can you do me one favor? Whenever Deputy comes out, can you ask him to put Miss Roar in the booth? Actually, go call this. I'll deal with it.
What you got, Mr. Lynch?
Judge, we're gonna do Mr. Cornwall next. I believe that is a negotiated plea. And I also have Mr. Styles is a negotiated plea. And then hopefully we can, I still need to talk to Miss Roar. I think we've cleared the the area.
Okay. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're before the court on case 2026 CR 06619 for reckless conduct, Jalen Tyler Cornwall. You're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offense before the court?
Nolo, Your Honor.
By entering a plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 22nd, 2026, officers responded to the Riverwood Townhomes located at 681 Flint River Road, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238, in reference to a person needing attention. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the complainant, who is the defendant's mother, who stated that her son was having a mental episode due to him no longer being on his medication. The complainant, advised that the defendant is diagnosed with bipolar disorder and that he had been going around the house saying that he was going to hurt someone. The complainant stated that her son did not do anything to harm anyone, but that she was concerned for her and her family's well-being. The officer or the complainant gave the officers permission to go inside the residence to try to talk to the son. But after looking around the residence, the officers were not able to make contact with the defendant, who had at that point left the residence. The complainant shortly after advised that she had seen her son running through the complex with what appeared to be a firearm in his hand. The officers eventually were able to locate and make contact with the defendant, and he was observed hopping over the fence, shirtless, while throwing his shirt that contained a loaded .40 caliber Smith & Wesson handgun over the gate before jumping back into the wood line near sewer drain. The officers ultimately arrested the defendant because the defendant recklessly left an unsecured loaded firearm in an area that has a lot of young children playing outside. As to count one, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for the time served. The balance will suspend as long as the defendant surrenders the firearm if it is owned by him. And as long as he has no new violations of law, and maintains his medication, remain on his medication.
Does his mother want to have contact with him?
Judge, I can speak to that. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Miss Adams.
She wasn't listed as a victim, so we hadn't made contact with her as of at this point. So I don't have that information at this moment, Your Honor.
Judge, I spoke to his mother a few moments ago. She did indicate that she's happy for him to come back to the house, but she did express that he needs to be on his medication. I've also spoken to Mr. Cornwall, who does see the need for him to be on medication. I think he's had some frustration based on not having insurance and being quoted prices for that. I have spoken to him about seeking services at the Clayton Center. and that, you know, it's going to be somewhat that effort is going to be required on his part, but he is willing and does want to get medication. When he's released from Clayton County Jail, I believe he'll be going to Fulton County to deal with a matter he has over there, but then he should be released relatively soon, and we would ask that it be no violent or harassing contact with his mother. That's all I can say to that on that, Judge.
What's his mother's name?
Erica Cornwall, Your Honor.
Erica?
Yes, Your Honor, ERICA. And I also have that Smith & Wesson serial number if you need it.
Please.
The serial number is D like dog, T like Tom, T like Tom, 5231.
Okay. Mr. Cornwall, I'll accept your plea of nolo. 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for time served. The balance will be suspended as long as you forfeit the 40 caliber firearm, the serial number that was read into the record. You're to have no violent or harassing contact with Erica Cornwall. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cornwall, you need to stay on your medicine. If it's not acting the way you want it to be, you're not feeling the way you want to feel, go back to the doctor and tell him that you need an adjustment, but you got to stay on your medicine, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand.
All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
Have a good day, Your Honor.
Can we get the female in the booth whenever that's possible? Mr. Styles can come. If we can bring Mr. Styles out, he's ready for a plea. Styles, yeah. If you will. Yeah, that's Pac. I don't think he was at a prelim. Yeah.
All right, raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
This is my step.
I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. And this is Mr. Styles.
Judge, we didn't hear that last statement.
This is Mr. Styles?
Yes, this is Keaton Styles.
Okay. You said that like we have another Styles.
Well, I'm sorry, Judge. There are two people with that last name charged on this accusation, but Keaton DeLacy Styles is in custody before you today.
Okay. All right. So 2026 CR.
Yeah, and I think you're going out a little bit. I can't hear you.
20. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Your Honor.
2026 CR 06586. Mr. Keaton DeLacy Styles. Battery count 1, simple battery count 2, simple battery count 3, simple battery count 4. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, it's a guilty plea to count 1. I believe count 2 would merge, and a guilty plea to count 3 and a guilty plea to count 4.
By entering a plea of guilty to counts 1, 3, and 4, count 2 will merge with count 1. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself, and if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
Factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 16, 2026, at approximately 7:30 p.m., Officers were dispatched to 1951 Southampton Road, apartment C3, in reference to a physical fight in progress. This address or this incident occurred within Clayton County, Georgia. Upon arrival, officers met with 3 individuals who were involved in the fight, who stated that a woman who resides in apartment D3, along with her brother, who is the defendant today, and her boyfriend, came to the rear patio of their apartment and began attacking them. All 3 of those individuals reported that the woman's brother physically assaulted them by punching and slapping them. While the female's boyfriend was swinging a pocket knife at them. Officers made contact with the defendant. Or first, I should mention that the officers observed the victims to have, or at least the youngest victim to have, a swollen left eye and a small bruise to the upper portion of her chest. The other 2 individuals sustained minor injuries that were not visibly apparent. The officers made contact with, or actually the officers did not make contact with the defendant at the scene because the defendant had left the scene at that point. But a photograph, the officers were able to pull up a photograph through RMS, and the 3 victims did positively identify the defendant. The photograph was shown to all 3 victims, and they positively identified him as the person who punched and slapped them during the altercation. As to count 1, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for the time served. The balance will be probated for the defendant to complete 40 hours of community service. And then the balance can suspend as long as we have no contact with the victims and no new violations of law. The one of the victims' name is Kanaya Ross, Kaniya Ross, common spelling. Another victim is Darlene King, Darlene, King, common spelling. And then the third victim is Mahia Morris, Mahia, Morris, common spelling.
Mr. Lynch? So I got 12, it's 12 months to serve 30 days credit for time served, balance probated for 40 hours of community service and no contact. That's on all 3 of the guilty?
Yes, Your Honor, and they're going to be run concurrent.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lynch?
Judge, I'm asking the court to accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Stiles is taking accountability for what happened, although he doesn't want to make further statements about it because of the fact that he has family members facing charges out of this incident.
Okay. So I understand neighbor disputes can get kind of hairy. I'm clear on that, but I just don't understand how this got so far out of pocket. And you lose all high ground when you go to the person. Like if you had stayed in your place and they came to you, that's a whole different thing. You're not in jail at that point. But when you leave the ground you rent or own and you go to the place where they are and they are in where they're supposed to be, but you come to the fight, you lose. That's where you end up in jail. And it just doesn't make any sense. How old are you, sir?
I'm 40.
You how old?
40.
Sir, we street fighting at 40. At this point in your life, your knees creaking. Your knees starting to creak. You starting to have aches when you get up from a chair. You too old for this foolishness. That's a young man's game. And if you still have the mindset that you're gonna handle some business at 40 years old by going to fight people, you have not made any progress from high school. If you are in the same mindset at 40 years old that you were in middle school or high school, let's go handle some business, you have wasted all of those years in between. You have not progressed mentally or emotionally through all of those years. You've wasted time. You wasted it. If you are not in a better mindset, a more grown up, mature mindset than you were in middle school or high school, where you at 40, when your knees are going out, your ankles ain't the same, and you could literally, one of my cousins sneezed and broke a rib. Like, this is the phase of life we are in. And you trying to go handle some business. Sir, be so for real. I just really need you to really focus on why that made sense to you. I will accept your plea of guilty to counts 1, 3, and 4. They will run concurrent, 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for time served. Balance probated for you to do 40 hours of community service and to have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia, and no contact with Canaria Ross, Darlene King, and Makira Morris, who all sound like females. And I don't know that you're supposed to be fighting women. But hey, that's how you get down. That's probably why you're in jail. Yeah, no contact. And let me just tell you what happens if you have contact. So the remainder of your sentence, you'll come back to jail, and the court will consider you spending the remainder of that sentence, the 11 months you got left, in jail. You can also be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies. You could pick up a felony if you don't pay attention to what I'm saying. So when I say no contact, not through a third party, don't have none of your cousins, friends, buddies, Facebook friends, nobody reaches out to these people on your behalf. You're not to call, go by, look twice at their house. If you walk past their apartment, you need to keep your head straight and keep it pushing. You understand? All right, you can go back with the sheriff's office. All right, so I believe that leaves Roar.
We're gonna bring Miss Roar out for a plea.
And did Pat come up, or are we needing to?
Pat did come up. I'm gonna talk to him while we.
Okay.
Walmart is making a sale offer.
All right, raise your right hand for me, ma'am. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Kristen Page Roar. Am I pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, Your Honor.
2026 CR 06620 for theft by shoplifting, count 1, theft by deception, count 2, giving a false name, address, or date of birth to an law enforcement, count 3, and obstruction of an officer, count 4. Mr. Bug, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, we would plead guilty to count 1 under Alford v. North Carolina, and I can provide more facts when appropriate. And I believe the other counts may be null pros.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty under Alford versus North Carolina, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. On 2nd, 2026, officers who were at the Walmart located at 7050 Highway 85, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274, doing an investigation, was made aware by the loss prevention employee that the defendant skip scanned items, skip scan makeup items, and then passed through the self-checkout without completing payment of all the items. The total retail value of the skip scan merchandise was $34.93. And the total value of the merchandise that was deprived from Walmart without payment at all was $47.91. And at the time that the defendant attempted to exit the store without rendering full payment, the officer detained the defendant. As to count 1, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for the time served. The balance will be probated for the defendant to complete an anti-theft course, and then the balance can suspend as long as the defendant does not return to the Walmart located at 7050 Highway 85, Riverdale, Georgia, and as long as she has no new violations of law. Count 3 would be a $100 suspended fine. Count 2 and 4 would be no prost.
2, 3, and 4 will be a no pros.
Or no, Your Honor, my apologies. Count 3 was not, that wasn't a part of the
Okay.
negotiation. Count
Was
3.
that a guilty or a NOLO, Mr. Bug?
It'll be a no-lo, Your Honor.
All right.
But I did forget to mention the name that she provided the officer at that time. During the investigation, the officer requested her name and date of birth. The defendant provided the name Ashley P. Stacy with a date of birth of July 1st, 1987. And that was the correct date of birth, but her name is Kristen Ward.
Ashley Stacy?
Ashley Stacy is the name that she gave.
Ma'am, that name sounds fake. I'm gonna just tell you. You need to work on your aliases. But ma'am, you will buy makeup for what? Is that something that you need in your current life?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so so you just out here just stealing from the Walmart without any regard to the fact that if you gonna need something from the Walmart, makeup is not what's gonna change your life. It's just gonna get you in jail. And this is another thing. Lean close, because it's just gonna be me and you talking. I'm gonna whisper in your ear. Do you know that Walmart has better security than just about any other place in the world? It is a worldwide company, and their security rivals like some big, like organizations that are hiding secrets. When you look into the scanning machine, there's a camera looking right up at you. As you scan, what you think is under that little glass plate? There's a camera. You are probably on about 3 or 4 cameras just standing at the skip scan. So I'm not sure how you think that you're going to defeat a Walmart system. I just don't know how you think that, but I'm just going to tell you, you may have gotten away with it before because Walmart decides when they're going to prosecute and they decide when they're not. So you may have, like, this may have worked before because they were like, well, we're not going to waste time getting all that together to go to court to do all of that. But you can't keep doing it. So just remember that you are not smarter than Walmart. We're clear? All right. So I'm going to accept your plea of guilty under Alford versus North Carolina. 12 months, 20 days, credit for time served. Balance will be probated for you to take an anti-theft course. Now, once you do the anti-theft course through probation, and you must report as directed, or you'll be right back here in jail. Once you do the anti-theft course, your probation can suspend, but you will have during the remainder of the suspended sentence, you are not to go back to any Walmart in Clayton County. No Walmart in Clayton County, and you're not to have any new violations of the law. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So listen. Not accusing you of anything, but I suspect there might be a substance issue here. So you may want to ask for some help if Mr. Bug has some information that he can provide to you for places that you might want to be able to get some help, or you may be able to ask the chaplains at the jail before you leave if there's some information that they have, or you can even ask through probation. They may have some information for you for substance abuse programs. Otherwise, you can always go to a community support program like Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous, someplace that will get you started reevaluating how you're doing your life. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
All
if I
right.
may.
Yes, sir.
I did share with the defendant that there would be a price or a cost associated with the theft class. She said she would be able to take on
Okay,
that.
well, I'll suspend the probation supervision fees.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But she needs to take the class within the first 3 months.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, and we're just waiting on Mr. Pack.
Hey, Judge, we're ready. Mr. Pack is ready to enter a plea today to the case before the court.
No concerns?
I have great concerns for Mr. Pack, Your Honor, and I've discussed them with him. It's not in the nature.
Because this is not usually his thing. I don't
Yeah,
think.
Judge. So he had a preliminary hearing. The strange thing is, I guess he waived his preliminary hearing on this case, but the other case just got bound over today. That's for his usual line of
Right. Are we trying to do a global? What are we doing?
Well, I do hope that they are run together. But he's ready to accept this now. But if is there a jail calendar next week, we could do it all together. I don't know. I mean, the preliminary case should be in a posture to be accused and ready for the next jail calendar, I would think, but I don't
think the
know.
next jail calendar is the 28th.
That's correct.
So
I mean, we can go ahead and resolve this case because he'll accept the offer that's being
fine.
taken. But I guess, I mean, it in all practical matters doesn't make sense. But let's go ahead and take the plea on this just so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring him out. Whew.
Right.
Mr. Pack, raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand out. Mr. Pack, you got to stop coming to see me so often. You understand?
I'm sorry. Well, I'm doing the best I can. I need help.
I know you do, sir.
I'm
Mr.
mental health and need my check turned on. I'm my own mental health payee. I have no $32 for a copy of an ID. Once I get a copy of an ID, I can stop shacking up in weird spots and pay for fixed income. I have no family either.
I got you, Mr. Pack. Hold on a second. Mr. Lynch, I
Yes,
don't
Judge.
know, check with probation when you get a chance, because Mr. Pack has another case coming up, and this may be crucial for that. Check with them because I believe the Clayton Center had a program where they were able to get people an ID. And it may be either no cost or very low cost, but they were like helping people replace their IDs. So if he has that information when he comes back, then that might be helpful. So let's check. We'll kind of check on that, Mr. Pack. Okay. Thank you for expressing that to me.
I get $9.94 a month. I get an ID. It's in my name.
I got you. Just let Mr. Lynch handle it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Be still. Miss, you, raise your right hand for me. Do solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Mr. Pack, you're before the court on 2026 CR 06500 for simple battery and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. You're represented by Mr. Lynch. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, he pleads guilty.
By entering a plea of guilty to both, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things, Mr. Pack?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis and recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. On June 17, 2026, the defendant committed the offense of simple battery when he struck Officer Jihad Rogers in the right knee while the officer was escorting him to court and attempting to put him in a holding cell. Additionally, he was charged with obstruction of law enforcement. As to count one, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 60 days. Credit for the time served. Balance will suspend as long as the defendant has no new violations of law. As to count two, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 60 days. Credit for the time served, and that'll be ran concurrent to count one. And the balance will suspend as long as the defendant has no violations of law.
All right. So I'll accept your plea of guilty, Mr. Pack, to counts 1 and 2. 12 months, 60 days, credit for time served, balance suspended as long as you have no new violations, and they'll run concurrent. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to try and get you that information about your ID, okay?
Thanks, Your Honor.
All right, take care of yourself, Mr. Pack. I'll see you in a little bit.
You figure out when that next court date is? It's probably going to be July 28th.
All right, so I am assuming that is it for this calendar. I'm signing, so let me know. Send it to me if you need me to sign it.
Thank you,
Sorry, Your
Judge.
Honor, could you just tell me, because I remember we said we was going to hold on the Scott case. What ended up
Yeah,
happening with that?
the Scott case, I did an MHE.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I thought I sent you a copy. I may have, if I didn't, then
I might have it.
okay.
I just haven't checked my email for that one yet.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Here.
day. See you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Righty.
And Judge, we're back on at 2.
Okay, thank you.